Hi, I'm Nancy. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the final dress I made for Dress-A-Girl, and I'm going to give you a little tour of my sewing room. If that interests you, please stick around. Welcome to my channel, Running with Scissors. If you're new, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. Glad to have you. Now, if you have been watching, you know that I've been sewing 4 dresses for Dress-A-Girl, and I completed the 4th dress a few days ago. I'd like to show it to you now. Remember, I've been using the Simplicity 9280 pattern. And here's the dress. Did something a little bit differently. I used the same fabric for the pockets so they kind of blend in, and then I found this really cute eyelet lace with some pink rickrack. If you can get close enough, look at that. Okay. And then there's the same keyhole in the tie on the back. I thought it came up pretty cute. So now I need to take these dresses and get them packed up and sent over to Mari from Mari Sews so she can get them to where they belong. Before I start the room tour, I want to show you this little top I'm wearing. It's from McCall's 8067. I'm wearing the top that the model's wearing. As you can see, you can also make it with a collar, with short sleeves, and long sleeves with a collar as well. And I'll stand up so you see a little bit better. There you go. Bought the fabric from Walmart in those little 1 and 2 yard bundles. I bought it there. I thought it came out really cute. And I used the buttons that my sister gave me that she said came from my grandma. Okay. Now on to the sewing room tour. Okay, I'm going to start the tour of my sewing room from out in the hall. Come down the hall. I'm going to give you just a view of what it looks like from the doorway. The biggest thing in the room you see is my cutting table. I bought this on Amazon, and I'll talk to you about it a little bit later. I really like it because it has 3 drawers, and they pull out from both sides. You can actually pull them all the way out if you want to. And then I don't have a lot of fabric, big fabric stash. I'm more of a decide what I'm going to make, go get the fabric for it. But I do have a little bit of fabric. And down here I've got a few books. And all those books that you see, the sewing books and the Nancy Zeman books, I got those at a thrift store. And there's the Simplicity book I bought at Hobby Lobby. And over here is some scraps of knit fabrics. Okay, so let's just come around and let's go ahead and just go clockwise. First thing you'll see, I want to show you my Nurse's Rock switch plate. And you will notice another thing about my room. I don't have scissors and thread and sewing stuff on the walls. You'll see I have paintings. I also paint in acrylics, and everything you see on these walls I have done, and most of them I have done through tutorials on YouTube. Some really wonderful artists on YouTube. And so we'll just take a little look around the room. Let me shut the door. And we'll just go around the room, take a look. I have a big standing easel. And then over here, I have a table with brushes and water and what I need. Now all my paint is actually in my closet. I've got a little shelving unit in there, and that's what's in there. Let me step back and let you see the rest of my wall. Kind of made it like a, I don't know, a gallery, I guess, of sorts. And then I have a pretty long table that I put my sewing machine, my serger on. Bought this lamp over at Lowe's. It's really great. It gives me lots of light, and if you look at it, you can actually set your phone on and it'll charge it for you, which is pretty cool. I have a Brother machine. I bought it several years ago at Walmart. And then I have a Brother Serger, and I bought that on sale at Joann a couple years ago. There's the famous box. And then I found this picture of Lucy, and I kind of printed up and I framed it. If you've ever seen that episode, you must. It's really funny. She told Ricky that she was going to try and save money by perming her own hair and making her own clothes, which we all laugh when we hear people say, oh, do you sew to save money? And we all have to little chuckle at that. Then this little unit here is pretty cool. I bought that at Lowe's, and it's mainly really for the garage, putting in, nuts and bolts and, those types of things. And I found it really useful that I could put in zipper feet, all my zipper feet. Let me get around here. One of these are like tools, for changing, your presser feet. Did I say zipper feet? I meant presser feet before, but I do have that in there. Some of these are empty because they're small. And then down here, let me show you. These are all my bias binding thingies, which I love making bias binding. And I've got some elastic, and over here I've got some buttons. But it's a pretty cool unit. I think it's really nice. I really like it. And then I've got a sewing basket. I just have a few things in there that are too big to put in my unit. And over here, I have another little unit. I've had that a while. And those are those clips. I love these clips. I use those instead of pins if you've got like a silky or, fabric that's real hard to hold with pins. And I also use it when I'm doing my gathering. So that's that. And then we'll come around. There's the backyard in my shed. Then I bought this little unit from Joann. And down at the bottom I keep things that I use when I store my patterns. And in the second one, I've been making some doll clothes for my one granddaughter. And I've got a blouse I had started, but I started that in the middle of summer and then went away to my sister's and then got busy with Dress-A-Girl, and I'll get that done eventually. Over here is my brother. You see a little theme going, all the brothers. This is my printer that I print all the PDF patterns on. And then you don't usually see her when I film because we get crowded back there. Plus I feel like she's looking over my shoulder. So I move her over to another corner. And then over here, I've got a shelving unit. And you've probably seen this here. Let me get a little closer. That is my sister and me. And we are wearing dresses that our mother made us. She looks like she's maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5, 3 or 4. And I'm 4 years older. So she's maybe 4, maybe I'm 8. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And this came from Janelle and Rosary Apparel when I bought one of her patterns. And down here is my little rocking chair with my nurse. And yes, we do. We call the shots. And then I have this old iron. I got this from my grandma, but I'm not sure if she used it or her mother used it. My mother, I'm sure, knows. And then down below, I just have some cookbooks and Bibles and reference and that type of thing. And then over here, and that's actually a dress I made from Rosary Apparel, one of her dresses. And then over here, I store my patterns. And one day I'll talk about exactly how I do that. This wasn't my idea. I got it from somebody else. I have this right here. It's got a lot of, I started making a table runner, and I haven't finished it. Oops. My sign fell down. If I get it back up there with one hand, it says the beach is good for the soul. And then down here, I've got some interfacing and some other sewing things. I call this kind of my ugly side of the table. I've got, you know, scraps down here, a couple bins of scraps, paper to my printer. Oh, there's some water for my iron. And then there's my clock. And this is where I stand on this side. And there you see my tripod. And this is the view I get from this side of the table. I really like it. It's not a big room. I think it's 9 by 11. It used to be my son's bedroom. And then after he left home, it became my office because I worked a little over 10 years in my office as a telephone triage nurse for an insurance company. And then it slowly, as I retired a little over 4 years ago, it slowly became what you see now. Now I've got this bench I've had forever and it's pretty comfortable, but the only bad thing is when I go to search, I've got to stand up, shove the bench over. So I really need to get some kind of a chair with wheels, but it works for now. And that's my room. Let me just back open the door and we'll take one last look from the door. Now, you're probably wondering, I don't see an ironing board and iron anywhere in this place. Well, as you can see, I really don't have room for that. So when I'm not using my iron, I don't have it here now, but I hang it on the back of my door, one of those ironing board thingies. And then I have the iron in one of the bedrooms right next door. So I set up my ironing board and the iron. So when I need to iron or press something, I just pop over next door and do it there. So that's my sewing room. There you go. All right, so that was a little tour of my sewing room. I hope I didn't swing my phone around too fast to make y'all dizzy. I hope it was slow enough. This table I want to tell you about, I got it on Amazon back in July when they were having the big Amazon days or Prime days. And it's made of melamine. And it is from the Sander Craft Pro Series work table. And it is 30 feet deep by 60 inches wide and 36 inches high. And I love it. I'd actually looked at getting a cutting mat the same size as the table. They went over $200 for that, and I think this is fine. This works well for me. Yeah, if you get on Amazon, it is $539. If you get on the Sauder, it's SAUDER Sauder site, it's for the same price. But because it was Amazon Prime Day, I got it $169 off. So I only paid $398.81. That was after tax. Think about this table. It's heavy. It's really heavy. And you can't just order it and then your Amazon person just brings it to your door in a couple of days. You have to order it. You have to schedule a time because they have to bring this on a big old truck. Two guys have to get it off the truck, put it on a dolly, and bring it to your door, and you have to be home, of course, for it so they can bring it in. They'll put it wherever you say. When we put it in the living room, and it took us 3 hours to put it together, which actually kind of amazed. But this table's been great. I love it because before I had this table, when I had to cut out anything or trace anything, I had to go to the dining room table. I had to go to my bed. So, and then it took 2 or 3 trips to take the fabric, and then I had one of those foldable cardboard, cutting mats, and between the scissors and the pins and the everything I needed, it would take 2 or 3 trips to get it there, and then another 2 or 3 trips to get it back. So it's really nice to have it right here. And before I had the table, I did have my ironing board set up against the other wall, and I used that basically as a work table. I did my pinning there, did my gathering there. So it's nice to have a table set here, and it's perfect, and I really like it. I looked a long time for a table I wanted, and when I saw this one, I said, this is it. This is the one. It does take up a lot of room in this small room, but I did want it where it is so that I could walk around the table. You know, when you're cutting, sometimes you're at an angle and you want to come around to the other side. So this works out really well. It does, and I'm really happy with it. Okay, that's what I have today for you. I did want to mention, and I think I didn't mention already, I want to thank Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for starting this wonderful hashtag. It's been really a joy to have joined the Friday Sew group. I really enjoyed it a lot, and I've gotten a lot of nice comments from subscribers and even from some of the people that I watch on a regular basis. It's been really, really nice, and I want to thank Jen and everybody that is in the Friday Sew group. Now, on Sunday, I plan on popping in here and show you what I plan to make for October. I found 3 patterns that I already owned. 1 I've made, 2 I've not, and I went and bought fabric for those patterns. I'm going to show those to you on Sunday because that's the first day of October, and so I will be back on Sunday to show you the patterns I chose and the fabric I chose to go with them, and then we'll see how that goes. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. God bless. Take care.